Right, welcome everybody to another episode of Chris and Dave's Reality Cast. I'm one of your hosts, Chris Phelps, and my co-host and very good friend is Mr. Dave Horrocks.
Hey there, Chris. You know what? I have been itching. We've watched the episode, and it's only been a short amount of time, but I've been absolutely itching to get onto this and talk through this with you. And I just have to say, before we get into the meat of tonight's episode, thanks to everyone who said, we should cover the Bachelorette, because Chris, this is fucking crazy.
Dave, it's fucking amazing. I forgot how crazy it gets watching this. I've not watched every season. I've probably picked up 3 or 4 seasons over the years, but I love Love Island. I do. It's the pinnacle, and it's my favourite reality show. But Dave, the drama tonight and this season so far, as much as what I think of Claire, the show won't be the same without her, Dave. I don't know. Unbelievable tonight. So, Dave, the floor is yours. Where do you want to start, mate?
Well, I think, there is so much. I don't think we're going to be able to do our 15, 20-minute special, but let's see how we go. I don't really want to kind of miss out on anything, but, we've known about all the rumors and everything, so we're kind of expecting that between this episode and maybe next episode, it's gonna all go off. And it actually gets right into it, doesn't it? With Yosef. And Chris, I think this, oh my God, this is going to divide opinion massively, I think. Because, I don't know about roses, but there's certainly a couple of pricks there in that opening scene, And I think, I'm sure I've said it to you before, maybe not on podcast, but one of my old mentors at work, he used to say, when everyone's just shit, he'd say, a curse on all our houses. And that's not a reference to my age, Chris. It's
Instead of word, David.
or a Game of Thrones reference. But, just everyone's a bit shit. No one comes out of it well. But we'd seen, last week, we'd seen Yosef. He wasn't happy. He was particularly annoyed, that she'd humiliated the guys in this dodgeball event. And, we were unsure, weren't we? I think you were going one way, I was going the other way. And I see in the social media verse, people are quite divided on it as well. But he is quite single-minded that this is not, how the oldest Bachelorette should behave. Now, I use those words deliberately, by the way. Chris, what did you make of how that unfolded? Because I thought, the order of things actually matters, and I got quite a lot to say about it. But I need to know, what do you think about how that all unfolded?
Now, before I commit to anything, Dave, and I wear my heart on my sleeve, and I'll dive in there. This was amazing. So this is my opinion, guys. Please, if you disagree, I have no problem, because it was a really tough situation. Yosef, for some reason, he's on this moral crusade, and me personally, Dave, I do not like Claire. I think she's as false as a fucking nails, Dave. That's what I'm going to say, nails. I'm not going any further than that. She's absolutely playing the game. She's an absolute bachelorette, aficionado. She's been there, done it, got the T-shirt, for good or bad. She's really been hurt. We've had some great interactions with people. I think personally that Yosef was correct for part of that conversation. And then when he kept repeating himself and he was taking this moral high ground about it was disgusting, I won't let my daughter see it and all this, I saw, as much as I'm not a big fan of Claire, I'm sort of thinking, well, it wasn't the be-all and end-all. I called it out last week, and obviously I retracted that very quickly when you pointed out the Love Island situation, Dave. But because I was partly wrong, I hold my hands up. He was right up until the point when he started digging her personally. But then she lost the argument for me. She was right to go back at him, because she let him speak. She let him speak for a long time. And he hadn't finished, but she wanted to get her opinion across because he was personally attacking her. But as soon as she grabbed him and sort of got physical with him, I know it wasn't like physical where she hit him or anything like that, but she grabbed him and pushed him around, like give him a bit of a twist round. And then she said the words, I wouldn't want you being the father of my child. Well, obviously he's a father himself. So then he triggers and acts very fucking childish. And he's going, well, I wouldn't have used the mother. You've got no class. You've got no... So they were both in the wrong, I thought, Dave. However, I do think Yosef triggered her, but her reaction was just Claire 101. And the fact that then all the guys just go at Yosef because they see it as he has just completely decimated her. And obviously, Claire gets her Emmy and Oscar winning performance out and just runs with it. I'm not saying she wasn't wrong because it's quite an intimidating situation she was in, but she didn't lose out as much as what she was saying there, Dave. I think they both come out of it looking like a pair of dicks, if I'm being honest.
I agree. I think they both do. But it was really interesting how the guys just took Claire's side straight away. So I'll come back to that in a sec. But I had to watch this a few times, Chris, because I thought it was so fascinating. Just and we can say about how staged it is, how fake it is, and everything. But I think there is real human condition stuff in here. So it starts off. Yosef has said to her, I just need you to hear me out, hear me speak. And actually, I've called him out for being a bit of a tool, but I'm with you. I thought when he started it off, he was getting his point across. But then it started to wobble for me because he kept repeating himself. And then he started actually attacking her rather than
Yeah.
the things that she'd done. So, he made a point of saying, she's the oldest bachelorette, and he was kept using the same words, kept going on about how classless it was, and it wouldn't be a good example for him. And actually, I thought Claire was doing quite well. She was just sitting and listening for a while. It turned when he used the word crazy. Right. Now, this conversation, she said, she was sat there for 20 minutes. The fact that we watched about 5 minutes, and I looked at the timer, it was about 5 minutes. It was nowhere near 20 minutes because he was already repeating himself. So fuck me, if she was sat there for 20 minutes, it would have just been the same things over and over again. So don't buy it. It wasn't that long. But it was when he used that word crazy. She's heard that before, Chris, plenty of times, I think. And it absolutely triggered her. And that's when she started getting really fucking nasty. Now, I didn't see that she got physical with him. I didn't see that. What I saw was her getting the old finger in the face, and sort of like really pointing it out. And that's when she says, what was it? Something like, I never thought I'd have to say this to another man again, but I would never want you to be the father of my child, or whatever. And so she's the one who takes it from about a 3.5 to a 10, in terms of escalating it. Out of 10, this is in my imaginary scale. So you
Thanks,
want to
Dave.
trigger a bloke, a dad, someone who's already got a daughter, say words something like that. So for me, that was utterly uncalled for. She fired the first proper shot. I do think he started it when he used that word crazy. That's when you saw
Yes.
it go up a notch. That triggered her, and that meant that she got immediately very much more nasty about it. But then from that, so she's a prick, right?
Yeah.
But then from there, he's gone then. His head's gone. And he's fucking yelling out that she's the. I expected more from the oldest bachelorette. Fucking didn't like it where he's like, you guys, you can have her. Like he's like
That was
she's
wrong.
fucking
Yeah.
so hers. Like it's his to give. Don't be a prick. So yeah. So then, Joseph, you're a prick as well for doing that. But I can see, and I've said this to you before, Chris, that off air, all of us have got the capacity to be pricks, right?
Yeah.
We've all got a line, and we're all, you can be pushed so much and so much and so much, and just different people have their lines in different places. So yeah, I think they both come off looking horribly. We've discussed about a villain edit, haven't we? And
Yeah.
I think Yosef kind of got the villain edit there because the guys certainly, who all they see, right? Yosef is fucking shouting obscenities across the lawn, going off. Claire turns on the waterworks then, and then so she's the victim then, and so all they can see is a bloke yelling obscenities, her in tears. So they do what society says we should do, and they go and take Claire's side. And I think that was wrong as well, and I think 99 100,000 times out of whatever, it's going to happen like that. But I just thought it was really interesting how it unfolded because in that situation, as far as the blokes were concerned, Claire was the victim and Yosef was the aggressor. Like I say, Chris, as far as I'm concerned, both a couple of pricks.
Yeah, can't disagree, Dave. Fantastic TV, absolutely fantastic TV. But again, Dave, the guys are sticking up for, and they just see one side of it. I understand why they've done it. They've got to react like that. But I will say, Dave, it's getting more and more fucking shameful watching these guys go on about how they have feelings for Claire. They only want the best for her. It's like, this isn't real life, you idiots. You know, it's like you're absolutely fucking muppets. They're like a bunch of lemmings, aren't they? And think he was winding Joseph up anyway. Riley before, I think he's going to have a word with
Yeah,
her. And he's like, yeah, you know what you're doing. You're trying to get him off the show. I'm not saying that Joseph shouldn't go off the show because he was a complete cock and he couldn't have gone any further by the way he reacted at the end. That was pathetic. If he's going on about his daughter not wanting to see him in his fucking undies, does she want to see him fucking verbally abusing a woman, Dave? Because that's not a fucking good look either.
no. You know what, Chris? That conversation, like I say, it went on for about 5 minutes. It should have been about 3 minutes. He should have said his piece, got his points across, dropped the fucking mic. You're not chucking me out. I'm walking. Because I think
Yes.
I think he was going to walk. Because you don't engage in that sort of conversation and expect to get a fucking rose at the next ceremony. You know what I mean? He was ready to walk.
Yeah.
But obviously, it kind of looks like, he's booted out. And the fact that Chris Harrison, he said to the guys, the day after, about how emotional it was because, as far, I think I said this on the last episode, as far as they're concerned, Joseph's shit in the cereal, you know, basically Claire can't finish the night off. Fucking Dale comes in on his white horse, doesn't he? You okay, you okay, says all the right things, and then he's the proper knight in shining armor then. But Chris Harrison said to the other guys, in this process, you're gonna show your true colours, and Yosef showed his last night. So
Yeah.
again, that's why I think Yosef's got the proper villain edit there. But I don't think, I think personally, I think that was wrong.
Yeah, I think they were both in the wrong, Dave. And again, Claire just being Claire. But let's talk, Dave. The one person is the D word. But as soon as this happened, like a fucking fart in an astronaut suit, Dave, there's fucking Dale on Claire's shoulder, being this fucking hero, telling her she's at a lowest ebb, he wants to pleasure her and not call her pain. And I'm calling it
Oh,
now,
I
Dave.
didn't see that. He wants to pleasure her.
Well,
Well, we saw
he
a
said
bit of
something
that
about
later.
pleasure. "Yeah, I'd love to give you pleasure," he said, or something like that. Well, we did see that later. But Dave, this whole show has been a farce from the start, an absolute fucking joke because these two are together. These two have been together through lockdown. I don't believe they just swapped messages. And I said it last week. This is an in joke between them two, which they think's hilarious that no one else is in on. Dale is the falsest person in there, Dave, even more than Claire. He's an absolute joke of a person. And all that guys were saying about bro code and everything, I understand you've got to step up, you've got to go that extra mile, you've got to do something different than just being with the guys and going with Claire. You've got to do something, no problem. But the way he is, Dave, he's a fucking snake. And when he popped up out of the toilet after he already spent 40 minutes fucking dry humping her,
It sounds
and
like
when
fucking
and then he
Frosty the Grouch.
it's like he comes in, and he goes, "Oh, hello, hello," and she went, "Oh, stay." And instead of him, because he'd already said, "I'm really sorry, guys, I only want 5 minutes," I had nearly an hour with her, and it would have carried on that if he hadn't been. I think it was Easy knocked on the door. If he hadn't have come,
Yeah.
it wouldn't have. He wouldn't have carried that on. He didn't give a fuck about the guys. He then sits with him and goes, "I'm sorry, guys," and gives up the worst excuse ever. Oh, well, he just went, "Oh no, we're having a right laugh." All the lads are like, "You're a cock and you're going to get rugby tackled if you carry on." And then he goes back. And as soon as Claire says, "Why don't you stay with me?" He goes, "Oh, okay then." And it's like, you are absolutely an egomaniac. And if Claire thinks, Dave, there's any mileage in this relationship, I do not believe it.
Yeah. I- I'm just going to go back to one thing Joseph said. I keep wanting to call him Joseph. Joseph. One of the things that he said that I thought was nailed on, and again, it's almost at that point he should have fucking dropped the mic and walked off. But he was going on that there was a red flag for him about that date, the group date, where she basically had a bit of a hissy fit, spat a dummy, and said, you guys are, there's no one wants to talk to me, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And he said that, we're all here for you. And we've given up a lot of the time. He's saying he's given up all this time to be with his daughter, to be here. So she's there for them as well. I thought that was brilliant. And he just fucking dropped the ball after that. But it made me think about how disrespectful Claire is to everyone else.
Yeah.
And it wasn't. I was thinking that even in that moment when she was having that conversation with Yosef about, yeah, it's pretty disrespectful, to the other guys. But when, Dale says, oh, it's all right if I go and grab Claire, for 5 minutes, and they're all sat around there fucking for what did he say? Something like 45 minutes to an hour,
Yeah.
wasn't it? They're just sat around and they're fucking dry humping away. For me, that was a level of disrespect to everyone else. And some people might see it, I guess, as well, she can do what she wants. She's the Bachelorette. But she's part of this whole fucking process, you know what I mean? And it's not like it's a first rodeo either. And
No.
I just think it was a level of disrespect from that moment. But when who was it? Was it I think it was Jay. They're all trying to interrupt each other because Dale's
Yeah.
fucking taken the
Yeah.
lion's share of the time, hasn't he? And then they're all trying to interrupt each other to grab like fucking 5 minutes with her. And like you say, when Dale sticks his fucking shit-eating grin around the corner, and he's like, "Oh, I didn't know. I didn't know someone was here." What? You didn't know someone was there? You're on a fucking massive group date. You've been dry
Yeah.
humping for an hour. You and did you lose your bearings? Did you suddenly lose where everyone else was? That was bad enough. And the fact that Claire just basically fucked Jay off and was like, no, no, it's all right, come and join us. I thought that was a level above, on the disrespect scale. So
Yeah.
again, I was fucking not happy with Claire about that. But then when Dale comes back and he's talking with the guys, as you say, that came across to me as he is such a lying fake guy,
Yeah.
right? Because the fucking even Easy, and I tell you what, I'm liking Easy to be honest. I thought he, he dug out Joseph, Joseph because he took Claire's side in that. But in general, he tends to call things right, and he's saying just own it, and he's like, no, 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 it's just I came out of the toilets and then I was like coming back and I'm like, where is everyone? It's like I tell you where they are, Dale. They're sat in the fucking same spot that they were, they were before. It's just so weak and flimsy. And Easy keeps saying to him, he keeps saying like, just own it.
Yeah.
You wanted to spend more time with her, just fucking own it. But the squirminess of him and I hadn't really seen this in the first couple of episodes about that kind of I don't know, that sort of calculating, sneaky side to Dale, but I'm not having that he's authentic, Chris. I think he's
No.
fucking fake as well.
I do, Dave. And I just wanted to say one thing that I did pick up on quickly. I know we've talked about Yosef and Claire, but the actual conversation was when Yosef said about his daughter. And I think this summed up why I just think Claire is just a blag merchant. Was he said, I every time I'm here, I'm wasting my time. It's a minute I can't be with my daughter. I'm paraphrasing there,
Yeah,
but it's something
yeah,
along the
yeah.
lines. And she went, well, it's like me. My mum's dying and I'm here. And I'm thinking, hang on.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
If
yeah,
you
yeah.
if your mum is dying and you have limited time to be with her, and I'm not saying she isn't, what the fuck are you doing on a reality TV show, Dave? So for me, that was just basically one of them where he's saying my car's this fast and she's going, no, mine's faster. And it's like, it's not competition. You're messing with. So if you are sincere about your mother and this whole backstory about how we've all got to feel sorry for you because your mum's going through, it's such a terrible thing. And I'm sure she is. And it's awful because I've seen it firsthand. If she is, what are you doing on a TV show? If time is precious, you should not be pissing about going on these stupid dates when you should be at home with your mum and fucking Dale there fluffing your pillow up because it's just nonsense.
Yeah. And I think I'd kind of forgotten about that bit, but yeah, we talked about this last week, hadn't we? My pain is always greater than your pain, and this led to the whole prom gate nonsense. Oh, I never even went to prom. She's always got to one up you. It's like
Yeah,
you can't spend time with your daughter. Yeah, my my mother's dying. I mean, like you say, that is fucking horrendous. What are you doing on the fucking show? Oh, Chris.
Yeah. You don't have to say anything, Dave. I know. I agree.
But what I mean, moving on from that, I mean, we did get to see Diana from she was from the Bachelorette season 4, and she's supposed to have this other group date with a bunch of guys, and I think this was before it all kicked off with Dale, wasn't it? So that group date never actually happened
Yeah.
because they were all just sat around there, and I can't remember which guy it was. ABC, put the fucking guys' names up for fuck's sake, because if it's not Dale or Blake, I recognise some of the other ones, but just put the fucking names up. It's not hard. Other shows do it.
Yeah.
But
I agree.
yeah, they were sat around. He was saying for 4 hours. How fucking disrespectful is that?
I know. I know again. And she even said to the producers, didn't she, when they interrupted her in Dale Dryham, she even said to him, didn't she, off camera, and they caught it, which was good of them to catch it. She went, can we just rush him through quick, please? And then she
Yeah,
comes out falsely going, I've had such a great evening with you all. Oh, it's been an amazing conversation. I can't wait to see you all tomorrow. And I'm like, fuck off. You don't give a shit about anyone. If she loves Dale, as she's saying, I have no problem with that. You and Dale go and live happily ever after. And that's obviously what's going to happen. But don't play the game the way you're doing, because for every argument she's lost and someone like Yosef's gone at her and he was wrong the way he reacted at the end, completely wrong. You then get the guys back into, then, like you said, disrespect them by doing all this with Dale and sort of like, I don't give a shit. I mean, there's one topic, Dave, I want to talk about in this episode, which I found really uncomfortable for Claire. I'm going to stick up for her slightly. What is your situation? Was it Jacob who went on the date and tried to sort of
Zach
kiss her?
J.
Zach. I found that really bad the way you reacted to her. I felt really bad for her, to be honest. As much as she was crying and everything, I just thought what he did with the kiss thing and the way he sort of kept grabbing her, I was not comfortable with that.
Yeah, and what I'd say is, I'm not gonna. So you said there you're going to stick up for Claire. I
Slightly.
still don't. Just because you've got a couple of bell ends doesn't make it's not a measuring contest. Doesn't make any other one bell end more. That I don't know
Yeah.
where I'm going with this, Chris, but you kind of
Yeah,
know
yeah,
what I'm
yeah.
getting at, But fucking Zach J was bang out of order there, and
Yeah, without a
that
doubt.
was fucking really uncomfortable to watch because I guess leading up to that, she wasn't asked at all. She took him on this pedicure date. I don't know why. The guy is fucking ripped, I have to say, Chris, isn't he?
You
He's
know,
a
it's a
fucking
monster, yeah.
beefcake. But and he himself says, he's a bit of a highly strung guy, and so he finds it difficult to relax. And she is just not asked at all. She's not present on that date. She's just Dale, 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 and not really. Again, it's up until we get to the pool. She, I think, is being disrespectful, to the whole process, to the show, to Zach there, to us, the viewers, because it's just all fucking fake.
Yeah.
But and again, I had to rewind this and watch this 3 times. I watched it, Chris. She leans in to give him a kiss, and then like about few centimeters or less than an inch, she stops. He says he moved back. He didn't. He just didn't go forward either. And then she stops, right? So that's when it fucking gets way too uncomfortable. It's the way he grabs her neck and then won't let her back off anymore. And he sort of
Yeah, I didn't
holds
like
it
that.
there. And I was like, oh, fucking hell. And honestly, I was
Yeah.
watching it, I was thinking, oh, fucking hell, what point does someone, they must have bouncers and stuff. At what point does someone fucking step in?
Yeah.
That was fucking wrong. And I can't believe they let it drag on after that. I actually think at that moment, because he kept trying to grab her again, and it was fucking way
Yeah, yeah.
bang out of order. And I think they shouldn't have even let him fucking shower, get changed for the dinner date. They've obviously done it for the drama. He should have fucking gone there and then, to be honest.
Yeah, morally, without a doubt, because that it was more the first time. I understand the first time, I get it. He did try and sort of grab her, but the second time, Dave, was fucking awful. And I was like, wow, mate, you really need to get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
No matter what I think of her, if that was my daughter or anything, I would be fucking fizzing, Dave. I'd be
Yeah.
like, well. I'm going to hunt you down, pal, because that is out of order. Again, though, Dave, fucking Dale there again. It's just all about Dale and her. And the guys, we get to the spit roast. And you're virgin on bullying. You've got to watch the way they go, don't you, with
But
stuff
but
like this.
but
But I
let's not
think they
forget,
just had
Chris.
enough.
What does it say on the date card? Don't take it personally, guys. Don't take
Yeah.
it
Who
personally.
takes it personally? Claire. You can't have a go at my Dale. You, my Dale. How dare you? And every date they went on after. I mean, the roasting. Fucking Bennett, Dave. He looks like Superman, doesn't
Fuck me. He had
he?
none of the fucking Clark Kent nice traits, did he? He fucking
No.
went for him, didn't he?
Yeah,
And
he
it
just totally
wasn't.
went for him.
It was like some of the other guys, like everyone was shitting on Dale, and some of the jokes were funny, some of them kind of weren't. But I think most of the guys, apart from Dale, he was just like say sat there with a shit-eating grin. Try and to be fair, think about yourself in that position. Whatever's led up to it must be fucking shit. You got a bunch of blokes digging you out, but Bennett just fucking went for him, didn't he? Like I say, it
Yeah,
wasn't particularly funny. But so can you imagine just being sat there like Dale and just fucking taking pelters from all the guys, and Bennett properly went for him. And again, I was thinking, you know what, Bennett, you might have just sealed your own fate there.
yeah, yeah. Right, I doubt. It's interesting because when she went on the dates, all the guys they were sort of sticking up for Dale, weren't they? In some respects, Dave. Dale's got no guy code, bro code, whatever they're calling it. But they were like, "Look, I'm only interested in this date, getting to know you," and all she's going on about is fucking Dale, and it's like. That's it. It's all over. The show was finished, and she even says when she meets the girl from Bachelorette Series 4, she says, if he feels right, you just know. And I
Yeah.
think this is her get out of jail card. But they did allude to it on the show, Dave, that they think they've been speaking to each other through lockdown. I'm finally glad someone said it.
It was one of the guys, wasn't it? It was when they were just having a chat, and it was after the whole where it really went to shit is when Dale spent all that time with her, and then the day after, again I can't remember the guy's name. I can see him in my mind's eye. It wasn't Jay. It was one of the others. I think it
Yeah.
was the army guy, and he was saying, the guys have been speaking. There's rumors. They think they've been talking before they've come onto the show. It just none of it lines up, does it, Chris? And I think it's such a wishy washy, or it's such a hand wavy thing. When you know. I kind of, part of me does believe that, but when we fucking saw them, on what was supposed to be their first meeting, right? She's meeting 30 blokes. I don't believe in that scenario. It's a situation where you can say, "Oh, when you know," right? I can believe you can fancy the pants off someone, right? But it just doesn't add up with anything that we've experienced in life, Chris. that,
Yeah.
that what they're saying is true, and again, because we see what the reality is, edited reality at that, fair enough. But again, we get a version of the truth all the time. It's like, again, I keep going back to it, but after the whole Yosef blow up, she's talking about how, Yosef was verbally abusive to her, completely omitting to the fact that she was verbally abusive to him. Again, I'm not defending Yosef; they were both in the wrong. Um, but she just admits any part that she plays in this, and I thought it was interesting. Again, Chris, this is the third time and only time that I've gone back and rewinded and watched again. After that roasting that the guys gave to her, she decided she wasn't going to give anyone a rose. But that was only after grilling everyone, right? About what was it, why were they digging out Dale? So she was on dates with these guys, and again, she's just not present. All she's talking about is Dale with these guys. So she decides not to give the rose out. And then when she's walking off, she says, that why would you expect a rose when you're digging out my fiance like that?
Yeah.
What, your fiance?
Yeah. Yeah. Hello.
Now obviously again, this is edited, so we're only seeing what the editors, the producers, want us to see. that's is that what do you reckon, Chris? Do you reckon that's
That's
just a slip of
fucking
the tongue, or
that's
that's just a mask
games.
slipping?
That's game, set, and match, Mr. Horrocks. She won't be getting paid for this series anyway, because yeah, she's done herself in there inadvertently. She wears her heart on her sleeve, doesn't she? And I think she's just been done there. She's going to protect him, Dave. If she loves him as much as she says she does, which I do believe she does, whatever we think of them both, then you're going to stick up for the person you love, aren't you? That's just the way it is. And I think they may have done that as well to expose her, to just say, look, this is just a waste of our time. The one thing I'm interested in, though, Dave, when them two go off into their fake, island in this fucking sea where they go off together, Dale and Claire, is when all the guys start going, oh, you know what? I didn't like her anyway. I can't wait when the new girl comes in. You're the other person why I applied for this. You know, you're going to get all that shit, aren't you?
Yeah.
So the fucking
Well,
lemmings will be there, won't they, with their little meerkat heads like, hang on, we're saved.
yeah. I think all the guys, if it wasn't for the Dale situation, I think the guys saying what they said earlier in the season, the fact that they're there for Claire, they've got a bit feelings for her and this, they just want to spend time with her and that. I think that would be in the context of a regular show. That would be okay because that's kind of what everyone is there for, in
Yeah,
Bachelorette. The guys want to spend time with the Bachelorette, of course they do, but they do just look a bit stupid when she's clearly, whatever the relationship was before, she's only got eyes for this one bloke, and so they, again, I just find it hugely disrespectful, Chris, because that's what they're there for. They've given up a lot, and to varying degrees, you could say, okay, well, they're getting on reality TV. They've all got regular lives, though, you know.
yeah.
And so I just think, all the quarantine time that they spend, it's all just massively disrespectful, and yeah, it doesn't sit well with me at all.
It doesn't, Dave. And I tell you what, Dave, we are not the only ones. You like the way I did that?
Nice segue. Nice segue.
We might be getting good at this, Dave. So we've had 3 emails, not letters this week, Dave. I always say letters. Sam always laughs when I say that, but 3 emails. Now, 2 of them are before tonight's episode, and one of them's a reaction to the episode. So we'll read the first 2 out, Dave. So the first one's from, in fact, no, we've actually got 4 emails, Dave, actually. I do apologize. So,
Counting's not our strong suit, is it?
no, it's not. I went really well into that and then fucked it up. But anyway, so this one is from our good friend Lauren, who did put the seed on of the extra episode, and she's put bonus. Yes, thanks for you for the bonus episode. Happy to think I played a small part in the revelation that baby talk afflicts even British podcasters. Every day we hope for a cure. Another social to add to your source list. A lot of good batch tea is on TikTok these days. This week's stars were Dale being discovered as a hilarious costume model for Party City. Sadly, that video has now been pulled because apparently Dale's team tried to hide the humiliation. Too late, however, since screenshots are now all over Instagram. Oh, I think we might be having a look at that, Dave. As well as Yosef is even grosser than you thought TikTok tell-all that turned into a 4-part expose. And she's linked that, Dave, so I will be checking that out afterwards. Anyway, so stoked to have the bonus episodes. Keep it up, Lauren. So thank you for that, Lauren. And you've given us a few little things to go in there. And then we've got another one, Dave, from our good friend Dee Dee. Hi, Chris and Dave. So glad you guys decided to drop a second podcast this week. The more Chris and Dave in my ears, the better. She's probably one of the only people who says that, Dave. But there you go. Also, faithful listener Lauren is my hero. She is right about your accents adding class. Maybe it's only perceived class. We don't care. It's definitely perceived, but we'll take that, Dave, won't we? And she's certainly not wrong about the evils of Facebook. Does that keep me from obsessively scrolling? Certainly not. The Bachelor franchise is such a curious obsession in the US. We love to see love, but we are often not buying what the franchise is selling. It is often problematic with subtle and sometimes overt racism and misogyny. But as a result, it inspires so much conversation, as evidenced by the plethora podcast by ex-Bachelor folks, male best friend duos, women journalists, black people, white people, so many diverse observations. Which brings us to Claire and episode 2. Some quick thoughts. Claire and prom, does it matter? She went to a formal dance in high school with a guy and a corsage. Come on. I can't remember any of these guys' names, and they don't show the name on the screen, as what you said, nearly enough. That being said, it was Jason with the therapy date on the primal screen, right? And he talks about how manipulative he was. Red flag, anyone? Strict dodgeball, dumb and gratuitous. Enough said. I think a lot of people are having trouble getting invested since it's foregone conclusion that she leaves with Dale and pretty soon. I was initially quite happy to see her as the Bachelorette because she's 49, but she's not as mature and more cringy than I had hoped. And the potential villain edit, like you said, Dave. We talked a lot about producer manipulation, who gets a villain edit with this franchise. It's certainly possible she probably wasn't too easy to work with. It's a fucking duck, and I can smell something. She's listening to us. Did you see Dale model costumes for Party City? No, again, as Lawrence just said, check out Brett's Bachelor Buds on the evil Facebook for more. Your friend in Arizona, Dee Dee. So thank you, Dee Dee. Another cracker there, Dave.
That's awesome. And I'll just say she's 39.
Yeah.
you,
What did
you
I say?
you said 49.
Dave, come on. There's another conversation about that. Anyway, right. Anyway, I don't know why I'm reading all these this week, Dave. Hang
I'm
on.
just staying quiet,
Yeah,
knock
I
yourself
think
out.
you
It's
should read
brilliant.
this one from our good friend Anna, Dave. This is going on. No, I'll read it out. You can read the new one from our good friend Lorraine next. This one's from Anna. Messy season ever. We weren't going to watch The Bachelorette. It was never my thing. But when you decided to cover it after Love Island US, Scott and I made an exception. Yeah, poor old Scott. When we watch reality TV, there are certain concessions we have to make and certain beliefs we have to suspend. In the name of the good entertainment and messy drama, we accept the false scenarios and fame-hungry contestants who show up. But Claire's story is a bridge too far. It takes a lot for me to feel sorry for anyone who voluntarily goes on The Bachelor, Bachelorette. But those guys thought they had a fair shot at screen time on the show, and no stable woman in her right mind would say, I think I just met my husband out loud to nobody while being filmed. It's obvious she's engineering scenes, dates, and tantrums to ditch everyone and spend all of her time with Dale. Has anyone checked on Bennett? Is he still waiting? That was from the other week. I also resent her co-opting the whole strong, independent woman narrative. Being single at 39 is not a problem and doesn't require justification. But if you're going to justify it, be honest. You're single and 39 because you're insecure, require constant validation, and did 5 iterations of The Bachelor because fame is more fun than stability. I cannot wait to see this storyline blow up. Keep up the great work, Anna. P.S. Claire is Mackenzie from Love Island US in another 15 years. That's a class email, Dave.
She is. She absolutely is. I mean, Claire and Claire, Mackenzie and Connor, constantly posting on Instagram. They seem to be all kind of loved up. So I'm sure they'll go for a good 6 months, I reckon, and then they'll kind of blow up. But I thought it was interesting after the old Love Island episode. For Lorraine's episode, Chris, I thought I'd let you tie yourself out there. I was going to keep that one because that's about tonight's show, isn't it? So I was going to keep that one for our bonus episode.
Oh, I bet you were. Yeah, yeah. Leave that for our bonus episode then,
So,
Dave. Yeah, let's do that.
so
Oh,
if
you're
you,
reading that as well. I can
if
see
you
how long it is.
so,
Bring them on, Lorraine. Dave love reading your. Keep going.
so So Lorraine, we'll read that one out on our bonus episode, so that'll come out on Saturday, guys. If you've got any other thoughts, any other feedback on tonight's episode, I do think this one will split certain people. Again, just flicking through the social media, I've seen, Chris, plenty of them. Like, you know, go down this line of how Claire's this strong, independent woman, and she does what she wants and stuff. Just not how I see it. But if that's the way you see it, then again, just get your emails in and we'll tackle those in our bonus episode. Now, Chris, one thing that we did have that was interesting, I just wanted to pull out from our Facebook group. And it's from Hennessy Green. It says, I don't know if you guys have, I don't know if you've had the chance, and I sincerely doubt that Chris has, but if you go back and watch Claire's 2 seasons on Bachelor in Paradise, you would have known that this season was always going to be a train wreck. And this is not even to mention the shit show that was Bachelor Winter Games. She came off those latter seasons as completely unlikable, and I, for one, will be shocked if she and Dale are together for very long. Her engagement after Winter Games lasted all of 2 months. I would suspect that a change out was planned shortly after the pandemic hit and Claire started beefing with their new golden child, Matt James. Now, Chris, again, Lauren sent through on Instagram some of the YouTube footage where it was Benoit. He'd proposed to Claire, and this was after the show. I think it was Winter Games, and so again she's. He got down on one knee right there, proposed to her. She said yes, and she's all gushing and everything. This was 2018, I think it was. So yeah, I think it was really interesting. I'm glad actually we've come in with no baggage, but I appreciate the people who've watched the previous seasons and know this character as well can kind of give us that perspective as well. So it seems like she's behaving as she has before, Chris, which again it puzzles me because going into this, I thought Claire was quite a loved character, and I'd certainly heard that, and yeah, but it sounds like she's just behaving how she normally behaved.
Yeah, I can't argue with that, Dave. I think it'd annoy me more if I saw her behaviour. I'd probably be even worse going at her if we'd seen her in other shows and she's acting exactly the same.
Yeah.
Like I say, if you're gonna say someone's dying in your family as close as you can get, what the hell are you doing on a fucking reality TV show, Dave? That is just bullshit. So for me, I'm out on Claire. I've been out on Claire since the first episode. This tonight was, as much as there was some wrongs done to her, it's all a farce. This whole it's been brilliant, fucking great TV, Dave. I was screaming at my TV. I was going mad. But yeah, absolute joke. It's more fabricated than I've ever seen on any TV show. This.
And Chris, though, we all kind of knew this from the rumor mill anyway, but we finally get the show acknowledging that Taisha is going to be in the next episode, it looks like. So it looks like, we're going to get plenty of drama again next week, but, it's all going to blow up. And then it looks like Taisha will come in, hopefully on the next episode. I hope they're not going to do the same thing and sort of stretch it all out for episode 4, and then right at the end she just walks in there. But I wouldn't put it past them.
No, I wouldn't. But what would be the ultimate, Dave? The ultimate heel turn? Fucking Dale. I'd never liked Claire anyway. I'm with Taisha. See you, lads. That'd be the best ever.
I think who is it who said tonight something about Dale running for president? I think one of the guys, I think it might have been in the roast, I didn't
I
write
think
this
it
one
was.
down,
Yeah, I
but they
think
were
it was.
saying that how long before Claire realizes you're not here for her and just want to run for president?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that'd be unbelievable that, Dave. I
But
could see him doing it.
no, I don't know. I like I say, from tonight's episode, he's come across to me as being fake, because he's that whole thing when Easy was knocking on the door and he's like, "Oh, should I hide under the bed?" I was like, "You fucking done that before." He came out with that line a little bit too quickly, and I just think it comes across to me like he is there probably for his career and his social media presence and what have you, and trying to get himself some exposure. So the rumor mill is that they're engaged right now, but who knows what it is. I don't see them lasting the course.
No, I don't, Dave. And also, again, thank you everyone today for we've read them emails out. We like you say, you're right, Dave, to call that. We'll read out any emails relation to the show because I'm sure emails, Facebook, get over to our new Facebook group, guys. Good old Charlene's running that for us. So thanks a lot, Charlene. We do appreciate it. Me and Dave are on there always commenting. We're adding people every day. Get the conversation going. I am getting told off by my dear wife, Samantha, because I'm watching it ahead of time. But then I watch it again, which gives me more insight for the double with her. So it gives us more insight for when we hit on the bonus episode again this week. And as always, guys, get on social media, give us a follow, get involved in the conversation at CD RealityCast on Twitter and Instagram. cdrealitycast@gmail.com is the email address. Get your emails in. We'll read them out. We'll discuss them on the bonus episode. And my word, Dave, what a Bachelor arena we have entered, my friend. It is fucking amazing.
It's fantastic. Like I say, I'm just so happy. I am more happy, Chris, when we set our time that we could actually record. I was more happy than any grown man should be that I could get all of this off my chest because, like you say, 10 minutes in, and I'm like, oh God, this is so much happening here. I need to speak about it. I need to get it off my chest. So no, it's been absolutely fantastic. And like I say, we'll see how things pan out the next few days. And I'm sure by the time Saturday comes around, I can't wait to speak to you again about all the extra stuff that's come out.
No, good stuff, Dave. So I will see you again, my friend.
Bye now.